So before I do start off this video, I want to let you guys know that I'm planning to do a top PvP clip every single video. I'm going to go through everybody's clips that you're going to send me over on Xbox. My gamertag will be in the pinned comment down below. Send me the clips, make sure that your profile is completely public so I can download the clip whenever I decide to do a news video. And I'm going to be putting one clip up every single video, so if you guys want to be featured, make sure you guys send me the clips. My gamer tag, like I said, is down in the pinned comment below, and thank you guys, and let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Strix, and I am here for another ARC News video on my channel. Today, we have a lot of news to cover, but first off, before I do start off, I want to say thank you guys so much. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much 10,000 subscribers means to me. It's insane to think that 10,000 people actually care enough to watch my videos or even care enough about me in general. Which I mean, you guys don't even know me. It's pretty cool to think about. I just wanted to let you guys know that I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to see something for 10K, maybe Q&A or something of that sort, let me know down in the comment section below or hit me up on Discord. Either way, I'll try to get back to you, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys subscribing. Even if you hate me, even if you love me, it means so much. I've worked so hard on this, and I'm glad you guys are coming along for the journey, and this is just the start. So without further ado, we have a lot of Xbox and PS4 news to get into, so thank you guys so much, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. And one more thing before I do start it off, as promised, I did do a face reveal. It's in my Discord. I sent out a few of my pictures, etc. And also, my Snap will be up on the screen now if you guys want to add me on Snapchat if you want to see what I'm doing in real life. Outside of YouTube, feel free. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So for our first story here, this is just in general. I think I brought up this concept with a few of my tribe mates, and they thought it was a really good idea. But they were gonna do this a while back. This isn't really ARC news per se, but I figured I'd bring it up. But I brought up the idea of having your actual tribe log on your phone. Say if you're getting raided, you could be like, oh, let me look at my phone, and you could see that you're being, like, your entire base is being foundation wiped, and you could get online. I just thought that was a good idea. I know a few ARC people watch, like, people that have contacts in Studio Wildcard, so I figured I'd bring up that idea. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the actual news. So as always, there's going to be a PS4 timestamp down in the pinned comment below, so go ahead and click on that if you don't want to see any Xbox news. But we're going to start it off with Xbox here. Our first story here comes from 60 Gang. This news is spanning back a week or so, but 60 Gang ended up pulling a Desert Titan on Osiris' server, which is server 103, and then they went for a smaller tribe on the server, but apparently it did no damage. So that's unfortunate for 60 Gang for not being able to do any damage to even the smaller tribes on server 103. So for our next story here, this comes from server 913, which is a Hyperion 99 server. It ended up getting dual meshed apparently. I don't even know that term, but it apparently got dual meshed by Davo's crew as well as the Bear crew, which I'm guessing, I know Davo is a mesher, and then Bear Crew, I'm guessing they're just meshers as well. So that's unfortunate for Hyperion, but I believe it didn't do much damage, so good job on Hyperion's part for being able to take them out efficiently and effectively. So for our next story here on server 576, which is a Hyperion server as well, there was a base that was meshed by apparently a new meshing tribe or alliance per se, I guess. Their name is Iced Out, and they got a bunch of cryopoded tames and a bunch of loot. Nothing other than that came out of that. I'm not exactly sure, so if Hyperion or Iced Out wants to hit me up and tell me any other damage that was actually done, because as far as I know there wasn't much damage that was actually caused by this mesh, but I could be wrong, so hit me up on Discord if I am. So for our next story here, this comes from server 790. 60 Gang actually wiped a meshing tribe on there named Dirty Mike and the Boys. They're just a random tribe apparently that ended up meshing them at some point in time, and they ended up ripping their mesh base apart and completely foundation wiping it. So good job on 60 Gang's part for taking them out. And for our next story here, SOS ended up going to 492, which is a Fury server. And apparently, if I'm not mistaken, that is a main Fury server. I could be wrong, though. They ended up meat running over 100 tames and stole about 40 cryopoded tames with 116 heavies and a tech force field. So that's unfortunate on Fury's side. SOS, I know they've been doing a bunch of damage. I know SOS does dupe, though, which is unfortunate. They ended up coming to my actual base with 4 Quetzals and tried to I guess, dick bomb with the Quetzal, but failed every single time. So that's also another story, I guess. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get into the next one. So for our next story here, this comes from PFG. That's a name you don't hear very often. They ended up wiping Donks. That is also a name you don't hear very often. They ended up wiping Donks' Mushroom Cave on server 348. I don't have any other information like was it meshed or anything of that sort. But if anybody wants to let me know down in the comment section below, feel free. So for our next story here, this comes from server 227. It was actually fobbed up on. It started off as a troll fob, but ended up turning into an actual fob. The fob was dropped by PFG, 99, ABC, and 60 gang, and that was all against Panic Gang. But the fob ended up getting pushed. So good job on Panic Gang's part for taking them out quickly and effectively. So for our next story here, this comes from server 48. As you guys know, that's a main Panic Gang server, and 99 actually set down a troll fob on it, and after about 3 days with very little damage being done, maybe a few turret towers blown here and there, 99 actually ended up getting pushed off. So good job on Panic Gang's side for pushing off 99. So for our next story here, Arcane and 492 were some Fury tribes, or maybe still is, I'm not exactly sure. They ended up going to server 59, which is an SOS server. I'm guessing in retaliation for what happened with the meat run, etc. from a prior news story. And they ended up hitting some small tribes on there and apparently got quote-unquote clapped and got about 8 crowd potted tames for them. So I guess good job on SOS's part for pushing off, I guess, the troll session from what it looks like. So for our next story here, Giga and Conquest Dieter, which are all 99 sub-tribes, they ended up fobbing on server 633 Wet Boys Panic Gang. As far as I know, they ended up getting pushed off. I believe it was just a troll fob if I'm not mistaken. But after that, a few days later, which is, I guess, as of last night if I'm not mistaken, 99 ended up fobbing on 633, which is the same server, Wet Boys Panic Gang. So I'm not exactly sure. I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and share the video with other people that might be interested in the community. Our next 2 stories, they all have to do with Fury. Fury ended up pulling 3 Titans on server 1020, and in retaliation to that, Panic Gang actually fobbed on X-Fury tribes on a Fury's main extinction. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that, X-Fury tribes on a Fury's main extinction. That doesn't really make any sense to me, but that's what I was told, which is server 980, and ended up planning a server wipe, but Fury actually ended up pushing Panic Gang off, so good job on Fury's part for doing so. And for our next story here, this comes from 2 names you don't hear very often, that being Purge and Toad. Purge ended up starting over a troll session on the server 975, which is an extinction if I'm not mistaken, and apparently there was a huge mana fight. Toad ended up losing 20 plus manas. That could be an exaggerated number, but that's what I got from Purge. And they ended up blowing up 1 teleporter along with sniping 1 Quetz that they were trying to mesh with. So that's unfortunate on Toad's part for losing that much stuff in 1 troll session. And for our next one, this comes from 60 Gang. Once again, as you guys know, Reef, he used to be Billy and the Boys' main, like, top dog there. He ended up having a mesh base. I'm not sure what server. I believe it was server 607. But they ended up meat running Reef's mesh base. So that's unfortunate for Reef. I talked to Reef the day prior to that, and he was like, oh, we have this big of a mesh base. It's pretty cool. No one's ever going to find it. So they found it, Reef. Sorry to say, but I know you have a few more. So keep it up, I guess. And keep your bases intact and get some tech turrets up. From what I was told, Reef didn't have any tech turrets, so yeah. And for our next story, this comes from Fury once again. The server you've been hearing all throughout this news video, server 492, ended up getting meat ran once again. The Castle Plat, which is Desert Monkey's Fury, they ended up getting meat ran. So I don't have any other information, like maybe what was stolen or etc. But that's all I have. So if anybody wants to give me some more info down below, feel free. And for our next story here, this comes from server 288. 60 Gang ended up wiping Elements Panic Gang out of their lava cave. I believe that's a 60 Gang server, and Elements Panic Gang actually tried fobbing up or something of the sort down there. I'm not sure, they could have been trying to mesh from there. That's all speculation, but I don't have any other information like maybe what damage was done or anything, but good job on 60 Gang's part for taking them out of their lava cave. In our next one, this is a very big story. Fury actually ended up merging with Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang being a 99 Problems tribe. I believe it was just for the better good of the alliance. Fury was taking a lot of hits, and Wu-Tang was always there to back them up. So I'm not exactly sure why or like what was the reason they actually ended up merging. So if anybody from Fury or Wu-Tang wants to let me know, or anybody that has any other information on that, feel free down in the comment section below. It would be very much appreciated. And our next story here, I'm not exactly sure if this is 100% confirmed, but if I'm not mistaken, it is. Jake, which is a leader of Coalition, or was the leader of Coalition, they ended up leaving and passing ownership over to Smokey. Smokey being a co-leader in Coalition, so I'm not exactly sure. I believe Jake just wanted to get away from the game through all the BS that was going on, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. That's just speculation from what I've heard around the community. And our next story here, this comes from server 1027. Wu-Tang, which is, I guess, a merger between 99 and Fury now. They ended up joining in with an aggressive grief on Panic Gang server 1027. If I'm not mistaken, no damage was actually caused, so good job on Panic Gangs for pushing them off their server. And our next story here, Outlaws, which is a known mesher alliance in the community, ended up wiping PFG off their main extinction, which is server 988. The pop didn't get above 30, so I'm not exactly sure what happened over there. But good job on Outlaws' part. I'm not sure if it was an actual mesh or whether it was legit or not. I believe it was a mesh, though, because Outlaws is really known to do that. But good job on Outlaws' part, I guess, either way. And our next story here, this comes from 99 Problems and Panic Gang. 99 actually ended up setting down a fob or a troll fob on 1019. This was last night. If I'm not mistaken, it's been pushed by now, but if anybody wants to give me other information, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. And to start off over on the PS4 side of things, White Walkers Immortals ended up me running Gridlock on server 951. Fat loot apparently and over 400 cryopod tame, so good job on White Walkers for taking them out over on server 951. And for our next one, this is a pretty big one. GM Tobita ended up wiping Gridlock's one of their main aberration servers, which is server 742. I don't have any other information to why it was dev wiped or anything of that sort, so if anybody down in the comments wants to let me know, feel free. And our next one, this comes from server 89 over on PS4. Noxtella actually ended up getting dev wiped by Tobita as well. Tobita is obviously one of the main dev wipers in all of ARK, so Tobita is going crazy over on PS4, taking out all the cheaters for whatever reason she has. So yeah. And for our next story here, this comes from server 89 as well. White Walkers Nomads ended up meat running Teletubbies on server 89. Also, Nomads actually ended up going to Nox server 422 for just a little foot PvP and a troll session, and came back with a ton of kits. I'm not exactly sure if any damage was actually caused, and yeah. I would just want to do this like mid PS4 news. I want to thank everybody on the PS4 side of things for sending me news and information. It's very much appreciated, but I do need more people, so if you are in a mega tribe over on PS4 or have news that you can send me, please do it. My Discord's down in the pinned comment below, and it'll be very much appreciated. And our next story here, this comes from Big Family Alliance and EVBH. They ended up getting in a altercation on server 131. And EVBH ended up getting wiped by Big Family Alliance on that server. So good job on Big Family Alliance's part for taking them out. And our next story, this is somewhat speculation, but VVV apparently ally rated JM on server 959. That could be a wrong story, so don't count me on it, but if anybody wants to let me know if that was correct or wrong, down in the comment section below, it would be very much appreciated. And for our last three stories here, White Walkers ended up doing a grief on server 422, server 422 being a Nox server. I believe no damage was done on Nox's part, so good job on Nox for pushing White Walkers off their server. And EXS ended up fobbing on server 863, which is a PR server, and PR, they ended up wiping their fob very quickly, and it was apparently a quote-unquote easy defense for PR. So good job on that. And for our last story here, GM Originals ended up wiping server 197. I'm not exactly sure who that is. I want to say it's a knock server, but I could be completely wrong on that, so don't quote me on it. But thank you guys so much for watching today's news video. I should have another news video up in a few days or so, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. We hit 10K, like I said, it means so much to me. So if you guys want to see a Q&A, I plan to do one, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, my name is Strix. Thank you guys so much for watching, and adios.